integral part of continuing to play music.
This is Silph Radio, a Pokemon podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Kappesser. Pokemon, of course, is owned by Game Freak and Nintendo. I claim no ownership over Pokemon, at least not the intellectual property, though I do claim ownership over Pokemon with my Pokeballs. Every episode, myself and a different guest host look at a different aspect of the Pokemon universe. Today's guest host, my friend, the co-host of the currently only other Secret Room Multimedia podcast, my comrade, Mr. Craig Lewis, co-host of Fairpoint Podcast.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Oh, all you Silph Radio fans out there.
All 12
I wasn't
of
sure.
you.
I wasn't sure when you were going to introduce me, so I just been
playing
browsing
Candy
through
Crush or something over there?
Facebook. Funny you say that because the only notification I got was an invite to play Candy Crush, and I will say. For most people
Really?
on Facebook, yes, honestly. I will say for most people on Facebook, I speak for them. Stop inviting people to play fucking games. It's annoying.
Seriously. Why can't you just block all game requests?
I swear to God, you're supposed to be able to, but I feel like with every time they update it, you have to redo it.
Well, no, you can block all requests from a specific person. You can do that, but you can't block all game requests from anyone.
People say you can.
I haven't found the way.
I
If you found the way, send us an email, silphradiopodcast@live.com.
There you go. I honestly thought I did, but apparently I didn't because I still get game requests for Candy Crush. And
Please do not send game requests to Silph Radio Podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/silphradiopodcast. Send us everything but game requests.
Brian Ferretti has invited you to play Marvel Alliance. Unless it's like, you know, you're inviting us to play some epic game.
No.
No, an epic game. It's
No,
not
that's
a Facebook
subjective.
game. It's not a Facebook game.
Oh, like an actual
like an
just
actual
message?
real game, yeah.
Now we're just
Like
stretching
you should just
the
come
limits
to
of
our Dungeons
credulity.
and Dragons night. Invited you to an event.
So we are here today to talk about Pokemon number 004, fucking Charmander.
Is that his government name?
That's his government. That's his John Hancock.
That's his birth name.
Well, that would be the
004.
Well, that's his national Pokedex number.
Ah, okay. 4, really? I would have expected he should have been number 1. He's number 1 in my heart.
You chose Charmander as your starter,
Charmander.
correct?
I did.
Let's back up a little bit here. Let's set a little precedence for our guest here. Craig, we've been friends for a long time.
That we have, sir.
As a listener, I'm not sure if you're familiar or not, but we do another podcast. It's called Fairpoint Podcast. It's a weekly podcast to contrast it with this one.
A couple people might have heard of it.
Go check it out if you haven't.
Kind of a big deal.
And Craig's not a huge Pokemon fan.
I like it. This is definitely going to be a fun experience for me. I feel like you only put me on because I'm your partner.
Well, a couple years ago, what happened? If I remember correctly, I gave you a copy of Fire Red, correct? Or no?
No. I bought, well, yeah. Yeah. No, it
you
was,
bought it?
It wasn't Fire Red. It was Heart Gold.
Heart Gold? I did not give you Heart. Oh, I did give you Heart Gold.
I bought it off of you, though. You got it, and I paid you for it. Yeah.
So you didn't play Fire Red?
No.
Who did you pick for your starter in Fire Gold? Who did you pick for your starter in Heart Gold?
Charmander.
You can't pick Charmander as a
Okay, then it
starter
must
in
have been
Heart Gold.
Fire Red, because I've had a Charmander to start with. That
Was
was
it But Fire Red is a Game Boy Advance game. Can
you play it on the DS?
It's a big chunk of plastic. Yes.
I don't think... No, I think Heart Gold's the only one I have.
Heart Gold's a little DS card.
You can't play... you can't start off with...
I probably gave you a Charmander. I
Yes.
think I did. Yes, because I was in Uno's eating pizza and drinking beer, breeding
what
you
else
a
are you going to do
Charmander.
at Uno's, you know?
And I bred you a Charmander from my Charmander, well, my Charizard Ezekiel, and then I traded that to you. So who did you pick? You don't remember who you picked for your starter? There was Totodile, the water type, alligator type, crocodile creature.
That wasn't the one I picked. I picked the fire type.
Cyndaquil. It was like a little hedgehog, honey badger type motherfucker with fire on his back.
Yeah, and it evolves into a fire squirrel.
Do you name your Pokemon?
Yes.
What did you name your... I must have named your Charmander. Do you remember what I named it?
No, I named the Charmander Gojira.
Did you breed your own?
No.
Did you have me name it Gojira?
No, I wish.
I don't know. In any case, I mean, you probably told me to name it Gojira.
Yeah.
Or no. You know what happened?
This is how awesome at Pokemon I am.
I'm sorry.
This is my knowledge here.
This is what happened.
I can't even remember what I do.
I bred you an egg.
Yes.
I bred you a Charmander egg.
Yes.
And I gave you the egg, and the egg hatched under your care, so
and
you were the original trainer, and you named it Gojira.
Yes.
There we go.
Go, Gojira!
This is what we do here, is solve mysteries of our own creation.
Mystery solved. I'm glad you remembered because I was confused. I was like, no, I know I did this, but maybe I didn't. You're making me think I didn't.
Word. So we're here to talk about Charmander.
The man.
As
I know, Gojira.
National Pokedex number 004. He's known in Japan as Hitokage, which is a combination of the words salamander, fire, and lizard.
He's a fire lizard.
Go figure.
Absolutely.
A Gojira.
A Gojira.
And, of course, he's one of the 3 Kanto starters offered by Professor Oak, as well as Bulbasaur, who we covered in the last episode.
Oh, man. I feel like Bulbasaur is kind of I'm not a fan of Bulbasaur.
So Charmander is classified as a lizard Pokemon. Type, fire,
lizard.
Of course.
Type, fire. Charmander does look a lot like a salamander.
Yeah, the Charmander family is mainly based on the mythical salamander.
I don't think salamanders are very mythical. They're kind of an actual animal.
Oh, wait, really? So when you just said Charmander looked like a salamander, you just meant like
a normal salamander.
Oh, you've never heard of a salamander, like the mythical creature?
I know of salamanders, the actual creatures.
So in other words, no, I have not. Oh my god, dude. They're actually very closely related to the actual creatures. Salamanders are like fire elemental spirits.
They spit fire?
They're lizard creatures
they spit
that are
hot fire.
Very closely associated with fire. Dude, really interesting fact. Did you know that in 2010, the spotted salamander was discovered to be the world's only identified photosynthetic vertebrae?
Huh. Fun facts for you.
Yeah, dude, you don't sound properly amazed. This is a fucking living animal being
that can
convert sunlight into fucking nutrients and food.
Into energy. It doesn't need any food. Doesn't need to eat insects. It could just sit out in the sun.
I don't need food. I don't
Green,
need food.
bitch!
I get it straight from the sun.
So would that be the original
Sunlight was nutrients before it was food.
So would that be the original true fire type?
The sun?
No, the spotted salamander, because it can actually harness fire.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. You put a match next to a salamander, it's going to run away.
Yeah, right. That shit's going to eat it and spit it out back at you like Yoshi.
So Charmander usually has one of 2 abilities. Either Blaze, which increases fire-type moves 150%, but only if the user has less than half its max HP.
So that comes in the clutch when it's down on health.
Yeah, exactly. Or you might have Solar Power, which in sunny weather raises the special attack stat by 150%. But it also lowers your HP by 1/8 of your max HP at the end of each turn. So you're taking damage.
In the 90s, people that harnessed solar power were usually considered douches.
Which is sad, because it is a good thing to do, you know? But why
they're so
why does
fucking
it have to be
smug about it.
That, yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm better than you because I'm helping the environment.
At least they're using their fucking passive-aggressive notions to do good instead of, you know...
Right, okay. I'll give you that.
Give people wedgies and stuff. Charmander belongs to the egg groups Monster and Dragon, so they can mate with any Pokemon in those egg groups.
Now, I have to ask you a question here. Well, we're going to go back a bit. Mating wasn't even a thing until which game?
Gold and Silver.
Gold and silver. So before that, it was like you wouldn't even be talking about that.
Yeah, we actually talked about this last episode a little bit too. Like, obviously, Pokemon mated. There just was no mating game mechanic in that game.
But also, was there no defined genders between the Pokemon earlier?
There wasn't, except for
maybe
Nidoran.
It was there were males and females. They just didn't
Of
specify.
course.
They just didn't specify in the actual game.
Yeah, because gameplay, it was a Game Boy game.
Didn't
They
matter.
can only that's like saying Pokemon don't eat because you didn't feed them in this game. Of course they eat.
Tamagotchi eat, kind of.
So Charmander is about 2 foot tall, 18.7 pounds. It's a bipedal reptile. It's orange in color with a yellow belly. Shiny Charmanders are kind of a lighter yellowish hue, and it has a. What's that?
I would love to own a Charmander in real life. Like it'd be like a small dog,
But lizard-like.
but
with fire on its
lizard-like,
tail.
yeah.
And
I mean,
way
yeah,
cooler.
but you wouldn't keep it in like a tank, like a lizard tank? Would you just
Of course
let it
not.
roam around with you?
That would be cruel.
Well, I mean, that's what they do with real lizards.
I guess it wouldn't be as bad as putting it in a Pokeball, converting its
Yeah,
fucking
for real.
biological
Well, who
material
knows?
to
They might have
data.
some posh pads in those Pokeballs.
I'm pretty sure they just get converted to data.
Oh, that's sad. It's like it reminds me of like the world's smallest kennel.
So small that it doesn't even exist. It doesn't even take up any actual physical
Yeah,
space.
like you just been converted to computer numbers. You are Pokeball 0010101010101001100110011.
Well, I never. You have no idea what you're saying right now. You just called my mother a whore in binary.
I didn't mean to. I only took one semester in binary.
Okay.
I'm kind of rusty.
So, as everybody knows, Charmander's tail produces a constantly burning flame at the end of it. The flame is sort of an indicator of Charmander's health and mood. So,
Okay, I take it back. I don't want to own one. He's going to light everything in my house on fire.
I'm sure when it's a baby, it doesn't have that great control over it because they're actually known to sometimes, very frequently, accidentally burn themselves in their youth. So I'm sure they would actually be burning stuff in your house, and that would be a hazard.
You're saying
as a baby.
There's probably going to be an outdoor animal.
But I think as they grow, they develop more of a ability to control that flame, to not burn themselves and to not burn down everything around themselves. I think a Charizard could walk through a forest without causing a forest fire. At the same time, though, Charizards are known to be a cause of forest fires in this world.
Oh, man.
Because it's only so easy to control it. But I feel like if a Charizard was walking around with the grace of a Charmander, they would cause a forest fire every time they went outside.
I'm thinking of a Charizard like stumbling along, like, oh, oh my God!
Boom, just some Primus music playing in the background.
Wouldn't it be? Well, I guess it wouldn't be awesome because forest fires aren't really awesome. But what if the real cause behind forest fires were random Charmanders?
That would be actually very awesome. I mean, forest fires are a natural part of the ecosystem to a certain extent. Not the man-made ones, but forest fires do need to happen. The flame on a Charmander's tail, though, is kind of like an indicator of its health and mood. It varies in intensity depending on the state of the Pokemon. When it's happy, it wavers. When it's enraged, it blazes. And, of course, when it's weaker, the flame is weaker. When it's stronger, the flame burns stronger.
What if when it's love?
It fireworks.
I would think like it was pulsing.
Baby, you're a firework.
I don't even know where to go from there. God.
It fire twerks.
It fired. Back to the twerking.
They're found in the wild in like hot mountainous areas or volcanoes. They prefer areas, things, and food that's hot.
They're also usually found in areas that don't have a lot of forest to burn down.
Yeah. I don't think they live around a forest because they might accidentally burn their home down
probably
and die
think
in
they
their
would
sleep.
live in the desert
Mountains.
or mountains. Yeah,
Mountains. Even volcanoes. They can withstand pretty hot
of course
temperatures.
they can.
A Charizard's tail,
they're
like
born
the
of
temperature
flame.
it burns is so hot that of course they can withstand the temperature of a volcano.
Just think about it. If you had one, you would no longer need to pay your heating bill.
Oh, I've thought about it.
I'm sure you have.
Dude, it's not fair. Like, it's legitimately not fair.
That they don't really exist.
Yeah, that I cannot actually live in the Pokemon universe. That's not fair. I am bitter about it.
It's not fair.
It's not!
It's not fair. A lot of life isn't fair. It's what I learned at a young age.
The most unfair thing about life is the fact that we cannot actually have and train Pokemon and travel with them and exist in the Pokemon universe. Like, to be real, I'm a little pissed at Satoshi Tajiri and Ken Sugimori for creating a world that I cannot actually inhabit. For really, like, they ruined my life, dude. They ruined my fucking life.
Do you feel this strongly about...
There was a time when real life could be fulfilling and rewarding. But no, not anymore, because any accomplishment I make is dampened by the fact that I can never actually cuddle a Pikachu in real life. So thanks, Satoshi Tajiri.
Do you
thanks,
feel this...
Ken Sugimori. Thanks, Obama.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Do you feel this strongly towards Michael Crichton about not being able to actually have the real Jurassic Park?
Not
available?
as strongly, but yes, there are some unresolved issues there.
I see your sentiment, and all I'm going to say is I'm sure there are a few other things in life that are way more unfair than this fact.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's so hard for you to not live in Westeros and not get decapitated.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have it pretty sweet that I have television.
Yeah, so you don't understand, Craig. You don't understand what the plight is like for us.
But also Game of Thrones isn't like my favorite thing in the world. What's not fair is the fact that I can't be an NFL player and make millions of dollars because that's actually attainable as a human being.
That's fair because, that's why that's fair, because it is attainable as a human being, and you need to put that work in.
Okay.
Were Pokemon real, I would put the work in.
It is not fair that Batman's not a real thing out there patrolling the streets, doing what the cops can't.
You got me there. That's not, that's not fair.
God damn it.
That's not.
It's not fair that I am not the new Robin.
Well, that's fair.
Oh.
So Charmander evolves the Charmeleon at level 16. At that point, it becomes 3 foot 7 inches tall, or 41.9 pounds, at least on average. And along with Charizard, Charmeleon is classified as a flame Pokemon. And it shares this designation with Flareon, Moltres, and Infernape.
The whole thing behind Pokemon is evolution. You evolve your Pokemon and grow them. That was an awesome scene for me, watching these things turn into different creatures, basically. I love this whole theory of evolution. I can't believe they created it.
It's interesting.
It was such a brilliant idea to think of this evolution theory.
But that's not actually how actual evolution happens.
It doesn't happen suddenly?
An individual organism undergoing change is known as metamorphosis. Evolution refers to, like, the collective species. So in the Pokemon universe, it refers to something differently.
So evolution is metamorphosis.
It's more similar to metamorphosis, but I think there's something we're missing there that links it, that makes it called evolution.
Some other catalyst?
It does have to do with adaptation to environment, because a lot of times Pokemon evolve based on whether or not they're traded to another trainer, whether or not they're exposed to a certain type of stone, whether or not they're in a certain area, whether or not they are friendly with their caretaker.
All I'm saying is that if I
whether
had
or not they fight a lot.
A Charmander, I'd be a little hesitant for it to, like, out of nowhere just gain 2 feet. And now it's a 4-foot creature, and
not only that, but when a Charmander becomes a
3.5 foot creature in my domain,
and they get a lot more aggressive when they become Charmeleons. They're always looking for a fight. They're notoriously vicious. In the wild, they'll actively seek out opponents because strong opponents excite it.
What do you expect from a creature that is born of flame?
And when they get excited, speaking of, the flames that kind of shoot out of their mouth and their tail kind of become white and blue hot.
I could just see like a Charmeleon like walking around and then it sees something and it sputes flames and it's just like, oops, sorry, I got excited there.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lordy, look at that other little Pokemon.
Me. He starts fanning itself with an oddish.
I got to put my flames out.
So, yeah, it gets a long horn-like protrusion on the back of its head, bigger, sharper claws. It has a darker red color to its scales. Shiny Charmeleon are pretty much yellow.
They're shiny.
And also, if a Charmeleon swings its tail, the flame on its tail grows exponentially hotter. The temperature rises. So,
answer me this. Like, is it a genetic difference between shiny and non-shiny creatures? I thought there was only, like... Is there every Pokemon a shiny version of?
Every Pokemon has a shiny, yes.
Huh. That's interesting. Those are obviously the rare ones, right?
Oh, it's really rare to find a shiny. Yeah.
So you can't like breed a shiny.
Yeah, you can, but
you gotta
you're going to
find
be
one
doing
first.
a lot of breeding.
You're gonna be doing a lot of breeding there.
Eventually,
That's
it's like, it's
something
just
that
like a
finally
mutation.
excited.
It's like a mutation, you know, like finally an
Okay.
egg hatches that's shiny, you know.
A good mutation, though. So I'm telling you, 95% of the time, mutations aren't going to turn out that well.
So yeah, just keep it from getting too overworked, because once a Charmeleon does get really overworked and excited, it's not going to calm down until it's won a battle. Or get it worked up. Get it worked up before you go face that gym leader.
Yeah, come on now. I want to fight. Who's ready to fight? I'm ready to fight. You looking at me? You looking at me funny? You looking at me funny? Come on now, let's fight. Oh yeah, you the one that played Maroon 5. Let's fight. That jukebox is not for Maroon 5.
Walks in antagonizing everybody. This motherfucker with his busted ass Reeboks and his bougie ass haircut.
Hey, stupid, nice hat, stupid. Yeah, I bet you want to fight me now, don't you?
Charmeleon evolves to Charizard at level 36.
Which is what I would consider a modern-day Gojira.
The Pokedex says that Charizards are 5'7" and 199.5 pounds on average.
No, that can't be. Those things are like 60 feet tall.
No, they're not
they
60
spit
feet.
fire and they. Oh, you just busted my
dreams. The Pokedex
dreams.
is known to be a little off with height and weight.
It's a tiny Gojira.
I think it's a little taller than 5 feet. The Pokedex actually has Venusaur as being taller than Charizard.
Bullshit.
I don't think that's the case.
That's kind of lame.
The Pokedex dropped the ball a little bit. It was an early model. You know, Professor Oak was sending children out to gather this research.
Right. So, this kid was like, oh my God, this thing was like 10 feet tall. Really? It was 5'7".
And because that was his, he picked Bulbasaur. And he's like, I don't know, like 5 foot, I don't know.
I'm counting from the top of the plant.
So Charizard's scales are closer in color to its original color as a Charmander, except in the case of shinies, in which case Charizard is jet black.
Oh, that's so badass.
Fucking badass.
So dude. Badass.
It has a longer neck, huge leathery wings, and of course it gains the flying type.
There is nothing scarier than a flying Charizard.
I beg to differ.
It's a Charizard that can fly.
I would be pretty scared of a Charizard, but there's other things I would be pretty scared of too.
Well, I mean, obviously, like Freddy Krueger, I'd be a little more scared of than a flying Charizard.
Yeah.
So would it be like a dragon?
What if Freddy Krueger had a Charizard? What if Freddy Krueger had a team of Pokemon?
Yo, Charizard would be his number one.
He'd probably have they'd be mostly fire type, if not all fire type. Maybe a couple steel type.
He would have an Alakazam for sure. He's a mind game man.
But no, because, yeah, I could see him with an Alakazam. Maybe a Hypno, because they are known to fuck more with people's dreams.
There you go. All we know is that Snorlax is not his boy.
Snorlax?
Yeah, he feeds on Snorlaxes.
Oh, because they're always sleeping.
There you go.
Don't fall asleep.
And Snorlax is like,
oh shit, you're down to like 1 health. Fall asleep.
Yeah, fall asleep. Gain some health. And then he dies in his sleep. And you're like, oh. Yeah, that's Freddy for you, man.
Never Pokemon battle Freddy.
Never. He cheats. He's a big old
He kills your
cheater.
Pokemon in their dreams.
Yeah, rest your Pokemon. Yeah, good luck with that.
So it's said that Charizard can generate flames hot enough to melt almost anything.
Anything?
Which is pretty intense. Especially
not
since
Dolomite.
it's especially intimidating since it maintains its antagonistic attitude as a Charmeleon. Just flies around looking for opponents to fight. Damn. So be careful if you're out there traveling with your Pokemon. A Charizard may be flying overhead, may notice you and your rather powerful-looking opponent of a Pokemon.
Just saying, you're better off, if you're trying to capture that thing, you're better off capturing a Charmander and trying to raise it yourself.
Well, I mean, they're really rare in the wild anyway. You're better off going to Oak and trying to cut a deal.
Right.
Some iPods fell off the back of a truck, man. Let me get a Charmander.
Let me get a Charmander, man. Which, how about Charizard, Wild Charizard? Are those rare, too?
Yeah, the whole family, like in general, because they're Pokemon that are mostly breeded, to be given away as starter Pokemon, their populations in the wild have dwindled.
Oh, okay.
The majority of the population of Charmander, Charmeleons, and Charizards in the world were born in captivity.
Thanks to people like Professor Oak that have made this happen.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, they haven't dwindled the population, you know?
They're just now in captivity, so they're trained. They know their place.
Charizard can actually fly up to heights of 4,600 feet, and even higher in its Mega Y form. Mega forms, I say. Charizard can Mega Evolve to Mega Charizard X with Charizardite X, or Mega Charizard Y with
Charizardite Y?
Correct. Craig wins the grand
Yeah,
prize.
yeah. Ooh, ah. So, what do I win? No.
A guest
Seriously.
spot on Silph Radio Podcast.
No,
We'll
no,
put
I
you
don't
on our
want that. I
second
already got
episode.
that. What do I win?
We'll discuss it after the episode.
Okay. All right.
Both
I won,
megaforms
I won,
maintain
I
the
won.
same average height, but their weight increases to 243.6 pounds for Mega X and 221.6 for Mega Y.
Oh, one's been eating the donuts.
Mega Charizard X has blue flames just sprouting out of its tail, curling from its mouth, and tons of spikes shooting out of its body. Not to mention the fact that its skin and scales are totally jet black, like a shiny.
Ooh, that sounds pretty.
Gains the ability Tough Claws. That boosts the power of contact moves by 33%. Mega Charizard Y develops wrist wings, like wings coming out of its wrists, and bigger shoulder wings.
Extra wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Bull, man. And
Gives you more
it
wings.
also gets spines on its tail. It's a much better flyer than any other form of Charizard, and it gains the ability Drought, which summons sunny weather.
So this change to the megas, there's the two separate megas that it could change to. Is this all coincidence, like chance? Which one it goes towards?
Well, a Mega Evolution requires two things. The Pokemon has to have a stone, and the trainer has to have a stone. So the trainer usually fashions the stone into a ring that they wear, and then the Pokemon has a stone that it holds, and then they can use their bond
And
to
depending
make the Pokemon
on which
Mega
stone
evolve.
they have,
Yes.
is which one it evolves to.
Most Pokemon
Okay.
only have one Mega Evolution, but Charizard and Mewtwo each have two.
See, I'm telling you right now, the reason why I bought a DS was from Chrono Trigger, and it allowed me to play a Pokemon game in my adult life. But this possibly might be the game that gets me to purchase a 3DS.
It's pretty cool.
I like this whole mega idea. It's very mega.
Hopefully they go places with it. These creatures spend a lot of time solitary, but they do exhibit pack behavior. They do live in packs, and like if a Charizard or a Charmeleon or something finds food, they will call others of their kind to come feast with them.
Yes, come feast with me.
But that's respectable. I like that.
Sharing your kill.
Some notable trainers that have a Charmander. Ash took in a Charmander that was abandoned by its trainer. We've all seen those episodes. The Charmander since evolved into a Charizard.
Speak for yourself, sir. Okay.
No.
I'm sure everybody that's listened to this podcast has probably seen this episode.
Yeah.
Most people.
So it's since evolved into a Charizard, parted ways with Ash, but they have, however, been reunited since. In the Pokemon The Origin anime, Oak lets Red choose his starter Pokemon. He takes a Charmander. Eventually, he's given a Mega Evolution Stone from Mr. Fuji and gets Mega Charizard X.
Awesome.
Blue in the Pokemon Adventures manga has a Charmander, which has since evolved. Is it blue or is it green? See...
You're asking me this question? Is it blue? You must be.
Well, Craig, you're at least familiar enough with the cartoon to recognize who, like, say, Ash and Gary are.
Yes.
They're based on the archetypes red and blue
Red
from
and
the
blue.
games. The main character and his rival. But in Japan, it was red and green.
It was green, not blue.
So, in the American translation, they named him Blue, but in the Japanese translation, his name was Green. So a lot of people, like in the manga, it went back
why
and
would they
forth
change
depending
it
on
like
the translation. Because red and green are actually opposites. Red and blue aren't actually opposites. Like chromatically.
Right. So why would they change it to blue?
Because in America, if they released the red version and the green version, people wouldn't really get it. But if they released the red version and the blue version, people would be like, oh, word. It's two opposites, the red one and the blue one, you know?
So it's
like, that's just American culture, you know what I mean?
So it's the difference between American culture and Japanese culture.
Sure. In which case, Japanese culture actually recognizes actual chromatic opposites.
And America's like, shut up!
Red and blue.
Red and blue, just missing the white.
So, but here's my opinion on it. When you say Bulbasaur's name, do you call him Bulbasaur or do you call him Fushigi Dane?
Bulbasaur.
So that's why...
I can't even say Fushigi Dane.
Exactly. So
Did
you
I say
call
it right?
the character that is the rival Blue. In the American version of Gold and Silver, he is a gym leader, and his name is Blue. He is an official character. His name is Blue. It's not green.
Okay.
Moving forward, Lance has a Charizard. He's the dragon trainer from the Elite Four. And that was interesting because Charizard is not a dragon-type Pokemon unless it Mega Evolves.
Interesting.
And according to the TCG, Blaine, the fire-type gym leader of Cinnabar Island, also has a Charizard.
I would say Charizard is one of the mainstay Pokemons that great gym leaders have.
He's emblematic of Pokemon.
Definitely.
I mean, behind Pikachu, he's probably the most recognizable Pokemon.
Absolutely. I would agree with you on that, 100%. Those were definitely the first two Pokemon I ever heard of.
Well, do you remember back in the day, the Charizard card? Like having a hologram Charizard? I know you didn't play the card game. I didn't even play the card game, but I love Pokemon. But I'm sure you heard of how valuable a Charizard card was,
There were plenty of jokes on sitcoms about that.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look at some good strategies you might want to utilize if you're planning on having a Charizard on your team.
Attack, attack, attack. Fire, fire, fire.
Not a good way to just, like, win Pokemon battles. I mean, hey, it could be, but only if you're planning for it.
That's why I used to lose a lot.
Charizard has great stats. He has great fucking speed. He has a large move pool. And so he can be used in a bunch of different ways strategically. It's really commonly used on sun teams because when there's sunny weather, fire-type attacks are boosted, so his attacks are generally more powerful. It has a 4 times weakness to Stealth Rock, which can be really damaging. That damages Pokemon as they're switched in and out. But you can use that to your advantage if you're running Blaze as your Charizard's ability. If you remember, Craig, that ability kicks in when he's at less than half HP.
Sure does.
So if you're switching him in and that knocks him down to less than half HP,
then he automatically
Blaze
has
kicks in,
higher
bam.
abilities. It's like, boom, he just took a cortisone shot. He good.
Equip Charizard with either Choice Specs, which gives you a 50% increase to special attack, or Choice Scarf, which is a 50% boost to speed. Generally, people go for a Charizard with Timid Nature. Timid Nature boosts its speed, penalizes its attack.
Huh. Now, why would you be... Are you willing to drop your attack down just to gain speed, more speed? That's
you have to
legitimate enough?
Each Pokemon's nature, which is like jolly, angry, friendly, dopey, stupid, retarded. Those are all different actual natures in the
Is retarded
Pokemon.
an actual nature?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. It's no, it's not.
Honestly, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense now.
But those natures give you +1 to 1 stat and -1 to 1 stat. And it's all random, what nature your Pokemon is when it's born or when you catch it.
Okay.
You can use Air Slash as a move to cover Pokemon immune to fire attacks. And you can use Hidden Power Grass to cover any water types or rock types that might be sent out against Charizard because they're type effective against him.
Right.
And that's pretty much Charizard in a little fiery nutshell.
Oh, this is a little cute. Oh, wait, the Charmander was a little cute one. Charizard's a beast.
Yeah. They're all fucking awesome, though.
Yeah.
I can't stress this enough. This podcast would not be possible if it weren't for these 3 sites. Bulbapedia, Cerebi.net, Smogon University.
Yeah, choke on that free plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Choke on it? No, don't choke on it.
Feast on that one.
Those sites are a fucking wealth of knowledge and information. If you're looking for Pokemon info, first place you go,
is Silph Radio.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's be real. You can listen to it. You don't got to read. You don't got to scroll. You're just riding your bike. You're cleaning your apartment.
This guy here, right here, he's a good guy. I tell you what, he goes and he does all of that researching for you, and then you just take in the information. You just listen. You relax. You coast on it, and you learn some shit.
True. But the thing is, here at Silph Radio...
You're a good guy. You're a good guy.
I appreciate it. I try. I can only do what I can only do. But here at Silph Radio, we really only scratch the surface. If you want to get deeper than the surface, check out one of those sites. Hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/SilphRadioPodcast. If you enjoyed this little dialogue and interaction between Craig and myself...
I'm sure I enjoyed it.
What would they do if they wanted to hear more of this, Craig? I would like to hear more of this, but I don't know where to go to find more of this. I don't want to wait until we have you on Silph Radio again.
First, you just mosey on over to a different podcast in iTunes called Fairpoint Podcast, where the two of us discuss plenty of topics, a wealth of topics, every week, and we have fun with it. We do a little news, do a little banter.
Well, that's all well and good, but do they have a Facebook that would let me know what the new episodes coming out are about and if I even should be interested, or even to just post random pictures that might be associated with the topic?
They definitely do. Just the same name, Fairpoint Podcast, on Facebook. Just search them up.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
right
cool.
Away.
Speaking of Facebook, though, keep your eye on the Silph Radio Podcast Facebook. Because this podcast is more erratic as contrasted with Fairpoint's weekly schedule...
Well, you're only one man.
We like to post awesome Pokemon art every day. I have a wealth of it on my computer. I love good Pokemon art. If that's your gig, stop by, check out what we got. Give us a like.
Yeah, you should do that. That seems like the nice thing to do. Honestly, if you like seeing cool, just I think that's popular now, is liking pages, like fan pages almost. We just get awesome photos every day.
So just do it daily. To be popular is what we're saying. Don't do it to support us.
No, I'm saying it's getting popular now. People like seeing that on their news feed. So they like seeing awesome shit in your news feed. I know
and that's what we provide.
Obviously, if you're a Pokemon fan, this would be a perfect opportunity to hit that like button.
You're a good wingman, Craig.
Absolutely.
Call you flying type.
That's how I rolls.
If
type?
you'd like your art to reach a greater audience, go ahead and send it to us. SilphRadioPodcast@live.com.
Not us. Send it to you.
Send it to me. It's not us. Craig doesn't have the password to this email.
As I shouldn't. That would be danger.
And hey, if I deem it worthy, maybe I'll post it on the Facebook page. Maybe. Probably. More likely.
Most likely. Yeah, as long as it's not like a third grader's drawing, fuck
that, dude. I'll post the third graders.
Let's say get your like nieces or nephews to draw Pokemon
Absolutely.
art, send it in, and you're like, these guys, they're cool. That's good. Put it up there.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm saying,
don't let your nieces or nephews listen to the podcast.
If
you haven't gathered,
art,
it's adult oriented,
drawn by. Let's say a 23-year-old man.
Send it to us. We'll put it on the Facebook.
I doubt that'll get up.
You can show them, and you can be like, hey, check it out. Look, they posted your picture, and they get a little confidence boost, I'm
pretty sure they're just like, oh, cool, Pokemon stuff. And I'm on it!
Thank you so much for listening. Tune in next time. We're going to talk about Squirtle, and from that point on, who knows what the fuck we're going to talk about.
Oh, one more quick thing before you start doing your thing to leave. I do want to say thank you for having me on. This was a pleasure. I know I'm not probably the most knowledgeable Pokemon man, but it was a great time talking to you.
Or, as we like to call them, Pokemans.
Pokemans.
No, like a Pokemon man is a Pokemon.
Okay, he's a Pokemans. No,
thanks for listening, guys.
Forget about
From the secret room, I'm Nathan Kappesser.
And I'm still Craig Lewis.
We'll see you here next time.
Squirtle! Is that what it does? Is that what it does?
That's debatable. I mean, in the anime, that's what they do.
Okay,
in the anime, they say their name.
Squirtle! I wasn't sure if it was a Squirtle or a Dana Carvey saying turtle.
It's a point of contention because, no, Pokemon don't. According to the manga, according to the actual game, Pokemon never actually say their own names. However, the anime made them say their own names. Pikachu, unfortunately, that has been burned into all of our cortexes.
Pika?
So there's no way to imagine Pikachu making any noise other than Pika, Pikachu. But,
oh my God, there's a fucking Pikachu here. Nathan, look to your left. I swear. It's right behind you. I heard it.
I don't think Pokemon actually say their names, though.
I'll agree to disagree, sir. I like saying Squirtle, Squirtle.
You can say that as much as you want. Play us out, Craig.
Squirtle, Squirtle, Squirtle.